Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I know this music's kind of goofy, but I feel like it's a nice way to start. I forgot to make a splash screen for my new project, and so voila. Give me one moment here. Trying to get myself together here. It's been I've been putting this together for a long time, so just there we go. Now I can take that out of here. All right, so this is quote unquote opening day for the Tenacious Baseball League here on the Tabletop Baseball channel. So if you watch the video, I will. I don't know. There must be a way after the fact that I can put a card or something in the broadcast here after the fact, so you guys can go and view that video if you are wondering what this is about. Did another 10-team randomization there a couple weeks ago, and came up with these teams. Today we're going to have, at the very least, the first game. If I have time, I'll do the second one later, but a couple things of note. We're going to start off, well, first off, let's show the schedule that's going to be followed for the most part. So it's a little, let me zoom it in. So as you can see here, I have taken, so first off, I want to thank Mr. Utah Mike for helping me out with some of the ins and outs as far as Strat PC to get the schedule done and all this stuff. So I had come up with a schedule, but I like some of the nuances that the Strat PC game did. Like, it's not exactly even Steven, like we don't do the second half just transposed to from the first half. The teams are going to play, a couple teams will play each other twice in the first half and not in the second, all that stuff. So I kind of like that aspect. Hi Marvin, yes, hey, opening day, hi Al. So as you can see here, game one on this day will be Baltimore at Miami. I believe it will be, I believe I have it as Chen versus Tillman, but and that's based on what they used in real life. I don't know as that's exactly best versus best. Some might choose Fernandez. Actually, I'm gonna take a look. That's what I had planned on doing, but I might change it up. So let me think about it here, because what I like about this league is that I am free to kind of. Number one is I can pick the lineups like I like. I'm not doing as played. I'm following injuries, so if somebody gets injured, and I've tried to factor in when someone's injured versus when they were released or whatever. I have a lot of depth from the minors that I can pull up at any time. Guys can get injured at any time. If a guy was injured, I've assumed that he isn't injured, at least to start the season, and I've tried to go through and at least do a brief analysis of Stratomatic's injury ratings and their system in order to try and best approximate how I'm going to get guys to, throughout a full season, to get to their numbers using injuries the way that they can be. So in certain cases, guys may be starting the season when they didn't in real life, and this is the best I can do. This is a lot better than what I did in my first season, which was I just took all the rosters as they were shaped out, as given to me in the original set that I got, the 2015 set. I didn't have any additional players or anything like that, so I was pretty much bare bones. And so this is going to be a little more thorough, I hope. I'm hoping that this gives the teams their actual, pretty close to their makeup throughout the year. They'll lose some players at times, like all teams do. Let's see. Hi, Mr. Utah Mike. Again, thank you very much. Juan, hello. How are you? Hi, Steve Ryan. SMR. But anyway. So I am going to use, I'm gonna have pitchers hit in this league. I made a decision That the previous league I had DH. Now it's going to take a little longer. From everything I've seen so far, there hasn't been a huge drop-off as far as the way people consume the material, whether it's a long video or not. So just, you're going to have to bear with me. This first one's going to be long because, let me turn it around here. Whoa. There, you can see every blemish, every hair that I haven't shaven, if that's the right verb, tense or whatever. It's going to take a little longer. Now this video is going to be longer because I haven't set up the game yet. So I'm going to take you through what I'm planning to do each game, so everybody has a chance to see what. Now I'm not going to play every game online, so if you've already seen the previous video where the teams were revealed, you know, we've got San Diego and Oakland. If we got a San Diego-Oakland game, or a game where it's like a very good team, let's say Toronto against Oakland, it's kind of probably going to be a drubbing. I'll show a few of those, but I want to try and pick and choose the best games, the highlights, and try to get through this league in a, because there's 270 games to play. It's going to take a while. So let's turn it around one more time here. So here is, and I want to make sure my phone does not fall out here. So as of this point, this is what I have as opening day rosters for every team. Anybody who wants to pause it after the fact to see how it looks. Again, I have, for Miami, I have Chen as their top guy. I want to look at the because I allow myself the freedom to shape things out the way that I want. I may go ahead with Fernandez because Chen's ERA was 4.96. Fernandez, he had 29, and Chen only had 22 starts. So using Fernandez as the first starter is probably not only a wise move, but it makes sense as far as he gets. Now Kohler might have had the most starts, 33. But again, his ERA isn't as good, so I may rearrange these starting rotations here briefly. I mean, it doesn't take long. Nobody's thrown yet. So we'll go with Jose Fernandez, the late starting pitcher. Lost him this offseason, unfortunately, or it might have just been at the very end of the season. And for Baltimore, we will go with Chris Tillman, 3.77 ERA, 16-8 on the 2016 season. Okay, so, and I have kind of parsed these out a bit the best I can, like I said, for, as you can see here, Baltimore's, I don't want to do that, I want to do this. So, I mean, you can see Baltimore's pitchers. Now, I could show you real quick and when I mean real quick, probably not as quick as I would like it to be, but yeah, give me a second here. Woo, this is going to take a little while, but as far as I'm concerned, it is worth the effort and the wait, because I've been taking my time here trying to shape rosters. And so this is, for instance, this is Baltimore's roster chart. And I just dropped something here, so I got to get up for a second. All right. So as you can see here, this is what I have for Baltimore's roster chart. And what this is real life game number. So if I go into Baseball Reference and I can look at their schedule, that they give it by game. So, you know, if it's this is game 64 of the real life season. This is week 8 in our season. We only have 18 weeks. They're a 3-game series. So anyway, like Chris Tillman, he is available throughout. He may get injured. Any injury data comes from the main form here. So, for instance, Baltimore, Tillman, he is a 1. So I'll explain to you what that means. But that means that he does have a chance to get injured, whereas someone like Justin Verlander will not. But as you can see here, we've got when we get down to Ubaldo Jimenez, he fell out of favor at one point, so I decided that at that point we'll have Dylan Bundy come in because he got some starts, and then Ubaldo will close out the season. Mike Wright got starts. in the first half, and then they had Tyler Wilson bridge over until they got Wade Miley. Doing my best here with the bullpens. Again, this is sort of a fluid process. I have a lot of depth here that I can print out as I go. If I want to get to guys like, Trey Mancini off, for like infield depth, if a bunch of guys get injured, we can pull them out here. So that's what I'm kind of going off of each game. If we have injuries, we have injuries. If we don't, then we don't really need to use them. But I wanted to have, my pants on straight when we started. So, all right. So one last thing. All right. So the way I usually arrange my cards is I have my starting pitchers up top. As you can see, Tillman, Gausman. Up through Mike Wright is the starting rotation to start. I have them on the top. Then I have my position players next. I have the bullpen after that. And let me make sure I got everybody. Yeah, there's Dylan Bundy. Bullpen, so I have some little racks to put them up here. So I'm going to need that right now. And then at the very bottom is everybody I'm not going to be using right now, but is available throughout the season. Either guys that haven't joined. Michael Bourne doesn't come on to the team until very late in the season, but he has a card. So he will be used later on once the rosters... I will expand the rosters too. So, and the same thing for the Marlins. Let's see, can I do videos on football and basketball strap? I would like to eventually. When I have the money to put down on that, that will happen. But at the moment, not so much. So the other thing that we have here is pitchers hitting cards. Since we're going to have the pitchers hitting, like I said, I don't think I finished my thought. DH only in the first go around. I figure let's give the National League the benefit of the doubt here, and so American League is going to be a little heavy in. You know what the other thing is? So A-Rod. What are we going to do with A-Rod? I'm going to have to think about that, because in this game A-Rod is considered DH only. Yeah, maybe I may have to go with DHs, man. I haven't. So that's, like I said, this is a fluid process right at the moment, and I'm just worried that certain things are going to be inaccurate. And so I think if I didn't have Alex Rodriguez, who is a DH, it clearly states in the sheet here. I always forget about him. DH only. So I guess I could play him at third and have him be a 5E whatever, or he just pinch hits the whole time. But I don't think that may not work out real well either. So I guess, all right, I guess we're gonna have to use DHs. I'm just gonna go with that. I think the fact that we have A-Rod is probably the biggest linchpin, because I think everybody else is carded for a defensive position. I don't see any comments about this yet. I would be interested in seeing if anybody has any ideas on how to use A-Rod as a fielder at this point. That would be much helpful. Again, I'm going to go ahead and take the guys who are... Now, interesting, here we have Adrisimer Despain. I don't know. I'm not sure how you say his name. He played for both the Marlins and the Orioles throughout this season, so that's kind of an interesting situation there. So I think Urena was the last guy, or Urena. That's probably how you say it. Last guy in the bullpen here. Let me see. Am I a little light on guys? Ramos, Phelps, Bearclaw, Dunn, McGowan, Urena, Morris. See, so this is where I think I need... I'll bring Morris out for the next game. I think I might need to print him out. But what I can do is I can look and I'll find someone that would be viable to be using in this game. We're going to use Brian Ellington. There we go. All right, so yeah. Okay. The best laid plans of mice and men never seem to work out just right. All right, so here we got the position players there. So still haven't seen any kind of let me think about it here. I'm going to take a look here at New York. A-Rod, I'm sure, played a lot because he was DH. Basically, he walks his rear end off the bench, grabs a bat. It's only 225. And he didn't bat particularly well. I think maybe we can just go ahead and go with the pitchers. And we will use A-Rod as pinch hitting / see, because I mean the other thing is, like, Detroit has Victor Martinez. I don't know if Victor played any positions. Let's take a look. He did play first base some. I might just the only thing about that is that then it doesn't become that accurate, but I would imagine that the Yankees would have found a place to use A-Rod occasionally, especially against lefties, if he was available. So we're going to go ahead and go with it, and we'll see how it works out. I guess the other thing I could do is I could go to... Well, I can do that later. We're playing the Marlins. We're going to use pitchers. We're going to use pitchers hitting. And I'm going to sort out... I might use whatever A-Rod had as a defensive rating in 2015. I assume he played third base, but maybe not. Let me back this out some here. There. Got in a little close. So we do have Jose Fernandez batting card. We'll use that. Look at that. He's actually pretty darn good batting, isn't he? What was his average? 250. I mean, that's respectable for a pitcher, that's for sure. All right, so got things parsed out here as far as pretty much. So I start by, and this isn't quite right either. There we go. All right, that's still not right. Okay, something still doesn't quite look right. Yeah, I guess that's fine. All right. So we're going to go TBLv2.0. So this is got to remember how I labeled these. Series 1, Matchup 1, Game 1. We'll say game number 1. All right. Baltimore. Say 2016 Baltimore at 2016 Miami. And this is what, Marlins Park? I think that's what they call it. It's probably called something else now. I don't know. Let's figure it out here. Yeah, it's still called Marlins Park. All right, so now it's a little slow going here, but just bear with me. We will use super advanced rules. I am a super advanced junkie at this point. I think I would feel like everything is messed up. All right, the other thing is, got to mention that we do have dates. This is going to be May 1st, 2016. So, Baltimore. What's the record? Oh, yeah, it's 0-0. How about that? So, tied for second in the AL East in real life. So, we're going to put Baltimore and Miami. I'm going to set these up just the same way. I might go back to my old score sheet here before long. Print out a slew of them and just use them. They're pretty nice to use. Then I don't have to go up and mark up this. But, all right, so Miami, again, no record. Good stuff. Let's see. So for Marlins Park, center field is, you could do, well, I guess there'd be no home run robbing because I don't think you do home run robbing in center field. I think it's, let's see. Whenever there's a home run fly out split from the cards, the outfielders, it makes difference. So if it's in center, so if it's a center field fly ball that is paired with a home run, and the split goes on the edge, either just in the home run or just in the fly out, we will. If it's in center, we will do that here. I'm not going to do defensive shift. I haven't heard too many people like it so far, but we will do. I'm going to do weather since I'm playing. That this is May in Miami, so I already rolled. I should actually do probably a 1-3 that it's a rain out, but I already did the rain roll. I roll the D20. If it's a 1, it's a rain out. If it's anything else, we play it. So in May, we'll call this. I can't remember. I should have known this in the schedule. We'll call it a night game. We're gonna just say to heck with it. It's in the night. Let me get my. So 14 May night game average. Wait, 14. Sorry, good conditions. Night good. 11s on the singles and 3s on the home runs. So we're probably gonna have a bit of a power outage here as far as 11s, right? Miami 11s and then 3s on the homers. So from both sides, pretty symmetrical park as far as that goes. All right, no injuries, no rest. So let's go with. So we've got Jose Fernandez versus. Where did Tillman go? Oh, I put him up here. So 2 righties. So let's go ahead and make the lineup here. We're gonna have get my lineup cards here real quick. So we're gonna have Adam Jones, Mark Trumbo, and where is Rickard? Joey Rickard will be in left. We're going to have Wieters behind the plate. Machado at third. Scope at second. Hardy at short. Chris Davis at first. And no DH, so we're going to go with the pitchers hitting. So let's take a look here. What are we going to do? Now, I could mention the statistician sent me these envelopes, and I could definitely go ahead and use his suggested lineup here. I would tend to think that either Jones or Machado would be the guy you would want to lead off with. Hardy's not too bad either, but team does not steal a whole lot in general, so we'll go with Jones. And then go with J.J. Hardy, then Machado, Trumbo Davis, Wieters, Rickard, Scope, and then Tillman is a number 1. All right. We won't need the generic pitcher's hitting card. So, and the other nice thing about this is this ends up being a learning process for me as well. Sometimes things work out in the lineup, sometimes they don't. Let me go back to the chat here. A-Rod, if you field him, he's a 5 with an automatic worst-case scenario arm, etc. Yeah, that's... I don't want to hurt New York that much. I mean, he's not going to play. I mean, he'll play some for sure, but... So Jones in center. He's a 13 speed. Hardy. Short. Well, at least for today, I'm not going to use my little card. I'm going to put them here. So 2 minus 2 E2. 2 E8. Trumbo in right. First base, and he's a 1 E11. I mean, you have to play the guys. It'll be all right. 2 minus 2 E6, and then a 9. And he's a 1 to 15, and the passed ball of 0. Rickard in left. And a 0 arm. And we got Tillman. He's been looking forward to hit here. I think he had missed that somewhat, being in the American League. Maybe not, he's number 1. So let's see, we've got... he does not have a special running rating. Fernandez does, a 1 to 12. So Tillman will be a 10. And Tillman is a 3 E17. Okay, for Miami, go with their best lineup possible at the moment. Real Muto, Echeverria. We're going to go with Yelich in left, since that's where he started the season playing. Now, if we had used DH, it would have allowed Suzuki to play a little more. D. Gordon will play early in the season, and of course he gets suspended right away, so we will see him come out of the Marlins lineup. And so here is the bench for the Marlins. Rojas, Dietrich, Chris Johnson. I think Chris Johnson would have been their DH, but we'll see if we done that. It could have moved Stanton out of there and used Suzuki out in the outfield. But in any regard, Mathis back up catching. I didn't show you. I don't think I showed you the bench for the Orioles. I think this is roughly right. Now what they'll get to do is they'll get to pinch hit more than what they usually do in real life. And so we're going to go with... We're going to lead off with Yelich. D. Gordon, contact kind of guy. Let's take a look at their averages here. Prado. Use Real Muto third, Stanton fourth. Of course, I think this was a bit of a down year for Stanton in terms of power. I think he was injured some. We'll go with Ozuna next. Prado, Bohr, Hechavarria, and Fernandez's hitting card there. So, I don't know. See how it works out. I'm not sure if Yelich led off a whole lot for... Let me see. What does... they have Gordon leading off on the envelope, but we'll go with Yelich in left. Gordon, second base. Real Muto catching. He's a 1-16, so you steal. Now the Orioles are not much of a threat to steal, so that probably won't come into effect too much in this series. Stanton in right. I thought Stanton would be a little less, have less range out there in right field, but I guess he's not too bad. He's about average. 3 -3 E6 for Ozuna. Martin Prado, third base. Justin Bohr. Not a good first baseman. Hechavarria. 1E16. And Jose Fernandez. Pitching, and again, he's a 12 speed. Oh, it's got it there. I didn't even have to look it up. There's 12. And his, he's a 3E16. Okay. I will probably do another video that has this little intro stuff once we get a couple games in for each team, so that way I can start showing you the rest rolls and things like that. It's the same thing that as happened in the original one, but if anybody new is watching, it would be nice to be able to show you all what that's about. So, all right, I'm going to stand up here. Thanks to those of you who have stuck around so far. About ready to get started. I got to stand up because I am... It's nice to have... I have a little seat there that I can sit on for a while, but after a while I need to get up and stretch. So Fernandez is going to get his tosses in, ready to rock and roll. second season of the TBL. I'm just about ready to go here. Before I get going, just also want to show you a couple of other little things that I have prepared. So before I had used a computation book to keep track of pitching stuff. Now I'm using Strat which helps too, but I have come up with a chart. So this is May only. It's going to take until the end of June to get all these games in, but as you can see, I'm going to mark down when guys played and when they're not available, so that way I can keep track of who can't be used. If I had a computer in front of me right here, it'd be much easier because it tells you as you go. It gives you a code as far as who, what, where, how much someone can pitch. All right, so let's also look through this real quick. So I printed this onto this card stock. This is the new pitcher injury rule. And so one thing I'm going to have to do from here on out is use this sheet to make note of. So we already saw Tillman. He is a -1. I'm going to put it let's put it right next to him. And we have to check for every pitcher. So, my hands are failing me. All right. So Fernandez is also a 1. Now what that means, it'd be nice if they eventually start putting them on the cards somewhere if there's room. But so what that means is with a, so where is, what the heck? They didn't give that part of it, did they? Huh. They left off the, I think they left off the chart. That's crazy. Well, it's on a different season's chart. I think it might have been last year. But, I'm just going to have to write it down here. So, a 0 means no injury. 1 equals 6, 12, 2 equals 6, 11, 3 equals 6, 10, 4 equals 6, 9, 5 equals 6, 8, and 6 equals 6, 7. So, anytime you roll, so with each of these guys being 1, if we roll a 6, 12, we go to this chart and then match it up against their, so he had 29 starts. So let's see. Oh, innings pitched. That's what you need to do. Oh, game started now. Starters, game started. 28. Maximum injury is 6 games. But so, he had 29 starts. So he... So the maximum injury he can get is 6. But what you'd do is you'd roll the D20 and then come over here to the pitcher injury and line it up here. Again, if you get above, if you get like a 15 on the D20, it can only be a 6 game, which basically means they miss a start. So that's one of the additions. All right, let's get going. I'm meandering on here. It's the way it goes sometimes. All right. Here we go, opening day. Baltimore at Miami. Let's see who comes out on top of this first game. I would guess the Orioles bats come to town, but we'll see what happens. Adam Jones against Fernandez to lead off this TBL season. And here we go. 2-4. 2-4 against a righty. And we're going to start off with a ballpark single opportunity. 1 to 11 on a D20 roll means a single. Otherwise, it'll be a line out to Hechavarria. And that is a line out to the shortstop, and that's the first out. Underway. 269 and games and 26 outs to go, roughly. J.J. Hardy. 2-5. And he hits one through the hole out into left, and that will be a single for Hardy. They will not be holding Hardy on. So, Manny Machado now. That's a 6-9. Again, 6-12 is the magic number for both of these pitchers. 6-9 against a righty. Strikes him out. 2 down. Mark Trumbo. Power hitter. With 2 outs. And a 2 on the D20 means we have to check for balk or passed ball. Potential balk. You need a 1 or a 2 for it to be a balk, and it would move Hardy to second base. 1 or 2. That's based on his balk rating. It's a 10, so no balk. So again, Trumbo. That's a 5. Let's re-roll this guy. 3-5. And it's a strikeout. That'll end the first half of an inning of the new season, and the Marlins will come to bat. So I already showed you the lineups, but Chris Tillman will be out there ready to pitch, and it'll be Christian Yelich leading off. One 7, and he hits a grounder towards Scope, and Scope throws to first base. Chris Davis catches, 1 out. D. Gordon. 3-6. 3-6 and a single. Another single in this game. Now, D. Gordon, he will be thinking about stealing here on Wieters, a -2 arm, and Tillman a -4 hold. So that's going to -5. They're an efficient tandem at holding runners on base. So you have to subtract 7 if he gets a good roll or good lead. So that's a 1 to 12 with 1 out. So they're having to hold him on. They're just going to have Real Muto hit here. 5-8 against a righty. Fly ball to center. Under it is Adam Jones, and Adam Jones makes the play. Now, this time, Gordon, he's going to try and get that lead and see if he take that 1 to 12 chance. He needs a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 when you add the D6s, and it's a 9. So he does not get a good lead. He's just going to hang tight there, and here comes Stanton. 1-7. 1-7 and a 1 to 7 would be a double. And it is a 6. That is a double for Stanton. Gordon is flying. He's rounding third. He gets a head start on the base paths. So it makes him 1 to 19 as he gets the head start. And the double is to center, which Jones is -2. So 1 to 17. They're going to throw it home. Gordon's going to try to score. And he scores. 1-0 Marlins. And I got to double check here. Where are my... What did I do with... There it is. And I'm trying to decide if on a throw home. Let's see, runner advanced. Let's see this. Yeah, I guess that the runner can go to third. So Stanton will advance to third on a fielder's choice, as they did not cut it off. I'm double checking this. So it says, when a manager decides to try to score a runner from first base on a double followed by no asterisk, or a runner from second on a single, defensive manager has a choice of throwing home or conceding the run, thereby preventing the trailing runner from advancing. So that means that the guy who hits the double can advance to third. So Stanton will be at third base with 2 outs. They thought it would be worth trying to prevent that run from scoring. And so here is Ozuna. Just trying to make sure I get my rules right. 5-8 against a righty. That's a fly ball to center field. And that's it. 1 run for the Marlins and their home opener. And go to the top of the second. Apologies for the delay, but I just wanted to be sure. I thought that Stanton could advance there, and I wanted to make sure that he did if he could. Chris Davis, 2-9. And he strikes out. That is the 3rd strikeout for Jose Fernandez. Matt Wieters, catcher, 6'4", batting from the left side. Ground ball to short. That is Hechavarria, 1E16. 1-4. Good thing that it happened when it was a 1-rated shortstop. That is a G2. So 11 on the E16, and he's able to convert that for the out. Joey Rickard. .56 against a righty. 5-6 strikes out. 4 strikeouts for Jose Fernandez, and the side is retired, going to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Marlins. So this is going to be interesting. I think having the pitchers hitting here is going to make some additional... in the first league we had even teams, so of AL and NL, and so I don't think it hurt anybody to have to use a DH. This time it's going to make some choices, so I'm going to have to choose from day to day. Martin Prado, with his first at bat of the season, 2-8. And he grounds it right back to Tillman. Tillman soft toss to first for the out. Justin Bohr. 6-7 against a lefty. That's a walk. They're not going to hold Bohr on. Hechavarria. 3-11. Ballpark single, 1-11. And it's an 8. That is a single. And let me get my chart out here real quick. It's a 1-star single. I gotta feather this back in here. 1-star single. So Bohr moves up to second. So Jose Fernandez, a bunter. They're going to come in and, well, with 1 out, hate to give up this chance. He's not too bad hitting. They're going to go ahead and let him swing away. They're going to play the infield. Well, they're playing the infield with the corners in, so to dissuade him from bunting. So that means they're going to have him swing away. 2-6. And that is a single to left. Bohr. Not a very good runner. And with one out, left fielder is Rickard with a 0 arm. So 1-8. I mean, was not being held on. Makes him 1-9. They're going to have to hold him. And it's going to bring up Christian Yelich with the bases loaded, 1 out. Chris Tillman struggling here a bit here in the bottom of the second inning. 5-11 against a lefty. Ground ball to first base. Chris Davis, a 1-11. Oh boy, this could be a double play ball. They were playing back, obviously, this early in the game. 1-11. That is a G1. That's a double play ball as long as there's no error. His error rating is 11 and then a 9. No error. That is going to be a 3-6-3 double play. No run score. Tillman induces the ground ball double play, and we go to the third with 1-0. So Fernandez with number 8 hitter Scope at the plate. 4-8 against a righty, and he strikes out. Fernandez deals. So it's Chris Tillman playing in this league as a pop out to second base plus injury. Let me double check my. Let's see. When using this rule, ignore pitcher injuries. Well, I assume we roll for potential injury here. Now, we're gonna treat this as if since he is a pitcher, the most he can be injured is 6 games. So we're gonna go off of the pitcher injury chart instead of the batter injury chart. And it's a 19, so he will get the maximum 6. He's gonna have to come out of the game. Actually, you know what? Thinking about it more. Never mind. Tell you what, since they account for pitcher injuries now, I don't think you should have a pitcher injury when he's injured at the plate. I'm not going to worry about it at this point. We have enough to worry about with. I'm not going to do that at the moment. There's enough to worry about with these other pitcher injuries that can come from the pitcher injuries off of these cards. I think there's going to be enough of those that adding to it with the potential coming off of the hitter card is even more so. Adam Jones, 2 outs. 4-8 against a righty, and that's a strikeout. Fernandez puts him down in order. We're going to go to the bottom of the... See, and the reason that I say this is because every player would have a chance to get injured playing his position in the field. And so because the pitcher has a chance to get injured in the field, actually meted out, and I assume it's meted out in a way that would be for both DH and no DH. There's no distinction. So I think when it comes right down to it, if you're going to use this rule with the 6, 12, etc., then you shouldn't use the pitcher injury on the... Actually, another good way to look at it would be here. Wait, where is it? Let's look at Fernandez's regular hitting card here. Now, does it have an injury listed? Wait, that's... because he's got his own pitcher. Does he have an injury? Okay, he does have an injury there. So, all right. Guess what? We haven't done the next inning. We're going to bring him out. I changed my mind again. It's one of the nice things about this. Once you make a decision, then you have to go with it. So he's gonna be injured now. Tillman. And they're gonna have to go to their bullpen. And they're gonna bring in Dylan Bundy. So bottom of the third, I have Bundy warming up here, and Tillman, he will be out for a start, basically. All right, so 1-0 Marlins, and we already have an injury. Fun. D. Gordon. He singled and scored in the first. 110. Ground ball to second base. Scope throws over to first. I didn't need to roll the D20 on that one. Real Muto flew out to center field in his previous attempt. 5-9 against a righty. And Real Muto with normal power, 1-14, is a home run. It is long, and it is gone. That is a 10 home run for JT Real Muto. Parks one off of Bundy, and it is 2-0 Florida. Well, Florida. Miami. This will not be the only time I say Florida in this series. Stanton, in this season, actually. 6-7 against a righty. Ground ball to second base, X. So that is Scope. He is a 2E8. 2 and a 2 single and a 13 on the E8. No error. But Stanton will have his second hit of the game, a single. Gets past Scope. And so they're not going to hold Stanton on. Marcell Ozuna, 5-8 against a righty, struck him out. 2 outs. Martin Prado, 0 for 1. That's a 1-8. And no runner in scoring position there, so that 1-8 is a fly ball to left and stays that way. And Rickard gets that. So 1 run on the Real Muto home run. And Bundy met with a long bomb. Top of the 4th. J.J. Hardy. He did single in his first bat. And there is going to be another hit for him. 1-9. 1-15 double. He may get a 2-bagger out of this. And that's exactly what it is. He's able to stretch it out to second. Brings up Manny Machado. Orioles need to put together some hits here and get this game back in 3-8 back into play. 3-8. And he hits a high pop up to second. And he is now 0 for 2 as D. Gordon gets underneath it. Mark Trumbo That's a 5-6 against a righty. Strikes him out. Trumbo with a couple of Ks already. Chris Davis now. 2 outs. Runner at second. Are they going to strand him there? That is a 2-9. And struck him out. Jose Fernandez deals some major cheese there and gets out of that jam with the runner at second when nobody out. And we will go to the bottom of the fourth. And Bundy comes out to face Bohr, Hechavarria, and Fernandez. Hope y'all are doing fine out there. I'm going to keep on moving. Dealing with a pitcher injury already. Justin Bohr. 5-4 against a lefty. Fly ball to center field X. Center fielder Jones 2E12. 2 and an 8. That's a fly ball that he gets 2 and 6. So at 8 on an E2. And he is able to squeeze it and make the grab. 1 out. Ideni Hechavarria. 6-7 against a righty. Ground ball to second base. The other thing I did not look up is Bundy's. So Baltimore Bundy. He's also a 1. So Dylan Bundy. So it's 6-12. That's a problem. So 6-7 is a ground ball to second base X. That is Scope 2E8. 2 and a 6. That's a ground ball that he's able to reach. And a 12 on the E8. And he is able to corral it and throw to first for the out. 2 outs. Jose Fernandez. It's kind of nice that they have their own cards here. The pitchers with enough at-bats. 3-9, and that's a ground ball to third. And the neat thing about his card is, if you could see, if he comes up with a runner in scoring position in 2 outs, he gets a single out of that. So he is a clutch hitter by their estimation, but that'll be a ground ball to third base. And the side will be retired. Bundy has settled down since giving up that home run in his second batter faced. Fernandez given up 2 hits so far in the game. Matt Wieters grounded out in his first appearance. 3-7. And he grounds out to short again. Hechavarria throws over to first. Joey Rickard. 2-2. And he hits it sharply, but right at Prado. For the second out, Jonathan Scope. That is a 3-10. 3-10, and that is going to be, now, that is a ballpark home run. Now, at Marlins Park, this is a pitcher's park almost to the extreme. 1-3, you need a 1, 2, or a 3 on the D20. So 15% chance at a home run. That would bring them back to 2-1, but not much of an opportunity here for that to happen, and it is a 14. That is going to be a fly ball that is caught by Yelich, and Fernandez helped on another occasion by the rather spacious confines of Marlins Park. All right, so short break as I bust my fridge as I get out another cold, tasty beverage. So, this season so far is I'm looking forward to it mainly because I think there are some. There's no clear favorite as far as I'm concerned. I think you have a couple of them that are probably favorites, but I tend to drift towards the teams that are a little bit scrappy, hard luck kind of teams. So I'm interested. I get like in the previous season I got interested in like the Twins. The Twins were better than scrappy. They were. Got interested in the Twins, got interested in the Tigers. Even the Brewers were kind of hard luck team. It's pretty interesting to play those. And the nice thing is I can do those offline. You're getting a ton in your Redemption League. Of injuries? Yeah. Well, it's how we're going to have to do it. So, Yelich against Bundy. Bundy into his third inning of work. So he will start catching the rest roll here. 3-7. Single for Yelich. And with that -5, haven't really even looked at Fernandez's hold. He's a -2 and Real Muto -2. So, I mean, the Orioles don't really steal much anyway, but they're going to have to hold Yelich on. Well, they're not going to have to. They can choose to. They're gonna try a little sack bunt here with Gordon. You can't really bunt for a hit in this game intentionally, but this is almost what this is going to be. So Baltimore is not playing in, so it's going to be a B bunt here for Gordon with nobody out. So that is a 4. Well, it's an 8. So an 8 on for a B bunt. B8 is a good sacrifice. It's going to be 4-3 because you take the fielder on that. And so that moves Yelich into scoring position. Real Muto. 1 for 2 with a home run. Off of Bundy. 4-6 against a right-hander. And pitched around Real Muto there. Brings up Giancarlo Stanton. Not a guy you want to mess with. 5-6 against a righty. And he struck out. Of course, I would also mention here that Bundy is actually, I'm wrong here. This is -4. Bundy's a +6 hold. Weeder's -2, so it's -4. But one more hit or walk, and Bundy becomes tired. So we also have to keep an eye on that. Ozuna, first and second, 2 away. That's a 6-8 against a righty, and a strikeout for Bundy. And that will probably be it for Dylan Bundy. Going to the 6th. Still 2-0 Marlins on top. And the Orioles are going to pinch hit. And they will pinch hit with Nolan Reimold. So Reimold. Now the Orioles will have TJ McFarland warming up for the bottom of the inning. Here we go. Nolan Reimold against Fernandez. 5-7 against a righty. And he strikes out. Brings up Adam Jones. 1-7. 1-7, and that's going to be at least a single. Most likely a single, though. 1-2 would be a double. The 8 means Jones will get on. With 1 out, J.J. Hardy, they will not be holding Adam Jones on. And a 1 on the D20 means that we have to check for a wild pitch. Fernandez 1-11 on the wild pitch rating. And it's a 20, so no wild pitch there. J.J. Hardy still at the plate. 4-4 against a right-hander. Fly ball to center. Ozuna, 3-6. Can the Orioles have some magic come their way here with 1 out? 3-6 for Ozuna in center. But it's a 16. That will be an F2, no advance from first. Unless there is an error. And a 12 on the E6. And there is no error, so that is going to be a clean out for Ozuna. And Hardy's retired. 2 down, Manny Machado. Since they're not holding on Jones, he's going to try to get this lead. Needs a 2 on the 2 D6s and does not get it. So Machado, 3-4, and he strikes out. And Fernandez continues to stymie the Orioles through 5.5. It is 2-0. And so Tillman, he went, 2 innings. Bundy went 3 innings. "13 batters faced. And so it's going to be T.J. McFarland, the lefty, coming in to face Prado, Bohr, and Hechavarria. So against the lefty, Prado, 3-7 and a single for Prado. Justin Bohr. Let's see, what do we have here? Yeah, the Marlins will keep Bohr in there. They're thinking about pinch hitting. They could pinch hit with a righty, but I'm going to stick with Bohr. 6-8. So McFarland, wait a second. I got to check McFarland. We got a 6 roll there. McFarland must be on the extra players. Yes, he's a 6. So a 6 is a 6-7, so no injury there, but close. So 6-8 against a lefty, and that is going to be hit well and into the gap. That's going to be a double to right. Whoops. Double for Bohr. Prado going to hold up at third. Hechavarria, and they're going to let him pitch to Hechavarria, even though, I don't know, maybe we could think about a righty here. They were trying to get McFarland some, they're going to make a switch. McFarland is out. And so we had Y, X. Michael Givens is going to come in, pitch here. McFarland faces two guys and doesn't really do a good job of that. So here comes Givens. Going to face Hechavarria, Fernandez, and then Yelich. So second and third, they're going to bring the infield in here against Hechavarria. It's a 1 on the D20. That is a wild pitch chance. Oh, Givens as well. Again, we need to double check. Givens a 1, so a 1 on the D20. A 1 to 8 wild pitch would score. The 10, no wild pitch, so that's good for the Orioles. Hechavarria against a righty. 4-10 against a righty. 4-10. Fly ball to center field. That'll be Adam Jones. Adam Jones, 2-2. Rare play. 2 and a 20 is a G1, and then the rare play for the not G1, F1. 2E20 is an F3, and then the rare play. So F3 rare play. The outfielder runs into the gap and makes a nice catch. The lead runner who lost sight of the ball and was running hard stops. Tries to get back to his base. However, he cannot return in time as the outfielder fires the ball back to the bag for a double play. The lead runner? Doesn't make much sense. So Prado makes a base running blunder, according to this. So it's a deep fly ball that Jones gets, or it's in the gap, and then he throws behind 8-5 and gets Prado for the second out, so a double play. That brings up Fernandez with a runner at second. How about that? That's a weird play. Oh, see, I'm not seeing anything come up here. Wow. Oreo cookies. Earl with an E. You know, it's hard to remember. Have a quick hook with Colby Lewis. Okay, so again, we had a fly ball, which in a rare play, which means that Prado got caught napping. He thought it was going to fall in for sure, and he must have slipped and decided to take a nap at home plate before running back. So 2 outs, runner at second. I wonder if there's ever any times that people veto those. 6-8. Again, Givens a 1. 6-8 against a righty, struck him out, and the Marlins get run out of an inning by Prado's base running blunder, something that you may never again see in a baseball game. But in any regard here, let's try to get through this game. Top of the 7th, Fernandez against Trumbo. The Orioles getting skunked so far. 2-8, and he strikes out, just misses. Some good stuff there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 strikeouts for Fernandez. Having a great game. Chris Davis, 3 strikeouts for Trumbo so far, and 3 strikeouts for Davis. And that's an even dozen for Fernandez and Matt Wieters. 0-2, a couple groundouts. 2-5, and he walks. A rare base runner here in this game for Jose Fernandez. Obviously, Wieters, well, you're going to try to get a lead here. Again, -4 with Fernandez, so that would make him a 1. They're not going to hold him on, so that makes him 1-16 if he can get a 2. Hey, boy. There's the old 6-12. How about that? That was a good time to roll that when it didn't really mean anything. So a 12 means no good lead. Joey Rickard. And it was a 5 over 15. I'm just going to leave it at that. 110. Potential single here on the 110 for Rickard. 110. So the single is a 1-11 chance on the ballpark single, and that is going to be first and second with 2 outs. Maybe a little rally here for the Orioles here in the top of the 7th. It'll be up to Jonathan Scope to keep it going. He is over 2 with a strikeout and a fly ball. And here is Scope with 2 outs. There's a 6-9 against a righty. And that's a strikeout. And so he strikes out the side with a walk and a single married in there. And so 7th inning, he's a 6th inning starter. So we got to watch out for him next inning. Of course, he just hit. So they're going to stick with Michael Givens here. And it will be Yelich, top of the order. Yelich against Givens. 2-7. And he walks. Second time he's been on. So the Michael Givens is +7. -2. So +5. 13 Ks, right? So +5. Yelich is going to try to get a good lead here. 4 or 5. And it is a 5. You add the 2 D6s together, so it's going to be they're having to hold him on, or they did hold him on. So 5, so that makes him 19, 18, 17. 1-17 chance for Yelich to steal second. And it's an 11. He is successful in getting his first stolen base of the season. D. Gordon. (6-7). Of course, we need the 6-12 for injury. 6-7 against a lefty. Ground ball to second base. That will be Scope, 2E8. Uh, 2 and a 4 with a runner at second. So we're going to say they weren't holding Yelich on at second. So it's still a 2E8. So a 2 and a 4, ground ball 3, E8 and 12. So no error. But a G3, I think that might mean that they all advance. Oh, it is to the right because it's Scope. So they do advance the runner. So a productive out on the 4-3. Bunt. Yeah, I could have bunt with Gordon. That's a good point. Got the effect of the bunt. Real Muto with the runner at third and 1 out. 1 on the D20 means a wild pitch attempt. 1-8, or wild pitch chance. And it's an 8. Yelich scores on the wild pitch. And Givens gives up a run there. It's now 3-0. Real Muto. 4-6 against a righty. Strikes him out. Boy, if that one hadn't come, that might have been the ticket. Giancarlo Stanton 2 for 3. 5-10 against a righty. Ballpark single 1-11. And it almost stayed on a 16, but that's an 8. That's a single. Brings up Azuna 0 for 3. They're not going to hold Stanton on. That's a 4-7 against a righty. And that is a strikeout. Yes. Not enough hits and walks for there to be a problem. So, they pick up another run, and it looks like the Marlins are on their way to... Wait, let me see. That's Baltimore got 0. And Fernandez, he will come out for one more inning. The Orioles will have to pinch hit for the pitcher. We are using pitchers hitting, so they will pinch hit with Ryan Flaherty here. Top of the 8th. 3-0 Marlins. Against Fernandez, the Marlins will get David Phelps warming up. A hit, 2 hits, 2 walks, or the combination of those two would mean that Fernandez is tired. So we'll see if that comes to fruition here. But Flaherty against Fernandez, the lefty against the righty, 2-11. Fly ball to right field, and that will be the first out. Adam Jones, he is 1 for 3. 2-9. Ground ball right back to Fernandez for the second out. Jose's good for 120 pitches. And J.J. Hardy, 6-6 against a righty. And he strikes out. And I have people calling for Fernandez to go the distance here, I think. And hard-pressed not to agree. I mean, he is doing quite well. 14 strikeouts now for him. And we may just keep it going here. So they're going to have to go back to their pen. Bottom of the 8th. They will go with Vance Worley. Givens went, 2 full innings. And he'll be facing the lower half of the order. No real reason to pinch hit for Fernandez either. He can hold his own at the plate. Martin Prado, of course, having the base running blunder. 4-5 against a righty. Ground ball to short. Worley gets him to ground out to J.J. Hardy. Justin Bohr. 2-3. And you need a 1 for a double if you are a Marlins fan. And you get a 3, so that is a fly ball to center. Play is made by Adam Jones, 2 away. Denny Hechavarria, he is 1 for 3. 5-6 against a righty, fly ball to right. And Worley successful in holding down the fort. But we're going to what could be the final half inning of this game, the top of the 9th. Fernandez back out. They will have They will have A.J. Ramos warming up just in case, but they would prefer to give Fernandez the opportunity to close this out. So Manny Machado, 3, 4, and 5 have not shown up today. You got a combination of 8 strikeouts in 9 attempts for Machado, Trumbo, and Davis. And the Orioles sure could use some 2-column here. But it's a 1-5, and that's a walk. They will take that. With Fernandez being a 6. Oh, he's auto-fatigued. All right, let's see. Starting pitchers. Pitcher used in relief. Pitcher does not have a rating. It must be... I'm not sure where I see that. Let me see. Mr. Utah Mike says that there is, with Fernandez being a 6, so what he means is 6 innings fatigue guy, going 2 innings after makes him auto fatigued. But I don't see in this, I mean, that maybe that's in the rules for the PC game, but so super advanced pitcher weakness. Super advanced starting pitcher rest chart determines how many games of rest he needs. Amount varies according to whether the pitcher is star rated and how many innings he pitched. Pitcher used in relief in his last inning should have at least 1 day of rest before starting. The pitcher who does not have a rating as a starter must start a game, give him 4. Maximum number of innings for a starter can pitch without fatigue is 11, and the starter who doesn't have it, that's the 5 in 1 inning, 6 and 2 consecutive. If a reliever pitches 2 or more innings above his relief fatigue, then he must rest a day, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't really see where that is in there. So we're sticking with him, but we might not be able to stick with him for very long anyway, because Fernandez is what am I thinking about here? Well, if he gives up another single or a walk, then he is fatigued. So Trumbo, let's see, Machado. Stealing is not really an option, and they're not going to hold him on. 6-3 against a righty. Fly ball to left. That'll be Yelich. Yelich is very good out there. 1-E7. But a rare play on the 15. Well, I'm not sure I like these rare plays. They seem to happen an awful lot. 1E, so 115 is an F3, but then the rare play on the F3 is, that is the lead runner is gunned out, which seems, again, how did this happen twice? That just takes all the fun out of it. I mean, I don't know how I would do one and not the other, but I got to think about these rare plays. They're kind of, they're somewhat contrived. But we're going to go with it. Yelich makes the play and then throws to first base and gets Machado, who thought it was a gapper. Big mistake. So it's going to hurt both teams. And here's Chris Davis. 2 outs. 4-8 against a lefty and a walk. Fernandez is fatigued now, and the Marlins will go. We could get him the complete game, but they're going to go to Ramos. can't see any reason to chance this. So, no reason to give the Orioles any real hope. Matt Wieters with Davis at first. 2 outs. And Ramos, let me just double check his rating for injury. Miami, Ramos. 1, so the 6'10 is not a problem. 6'10 against a lefty. Fly ball to center field. That's going to be Ozuna. This is not routine. 3E6. 3 and 11. That will be an F2. And it's just a matter of the additions. 13 and E6. And the ball game is over. It is caught by Ozuna. And that is it. Trumbo actually hit the ball. Yeah. Risk it. I'm not risking it. Too late. I didn't risk it. It took me a second to realize what you meant by risk it. That was with Fernandez, and I decided not to. 3-0 final for the Marlins. Fans in Miami, all 3 of them go home happy. Just kidding. It's opening day. They got 5. And all of the Marlins fans have now left my channel disgusted, utterly perturbed that I would make fun of their team. But the good news is that all 5 of those people that were at the park were actually the ones who just watched the video. So anyway, big hit from Real Muto, a home run. Get a Yelich scoring on a wild pitch, and then a double from Giancarlo Stanton. He gets his first RBI of the season. Fernandez goes 8 2/3. I chickened out with him in the final inning, but what you gonna do? So first game in the books. What are we going to do here? We have another game. I just might do that offline or figure something else out. We'll see. That'll be Detroit and Oakland. Not exactly must-see TV, but that's the way it goes in Stratland. Well, I got the green dice out because I felt like Marlins. That kind of reminds me of... I figured in the Miami area, like their sports teams, green seems to be a theme oftentimes. I know they've changed their colors, the Marlins, some. Too many rebrandings in baseball for teams that... I mean, granted, the teams often need rebranding because they don't get the people paying attention. So, pitcher injury, it's going to take me a while to warm up to it. I'm not real happy that Tillman just got injured for 6 games. It wasn't even off the pitcher injury. It was off the regular batter card for the pitcher. The 2-2 bit him. And so he's out for 6 games. Strat net play, just let me know when you want to do it there. We probably should have a chance today. Actually, my better half probably would appreciate me being upstairs for a while, and if I'm on the computer playing net play, we probably can do that. So hit me up on that. So final score, let's see. Let me also mention again 14 strikeouts for Jose Fernandez in his last season of Major League action, unfortunately for him and for all of us, as he was such a bright young star. But looks like we're going to have a fun season watching him pull out some nice performances here. And so I'll let you know what happens with Detroit. Maybe I'll play it on Facebook at some point. We'll see. But anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. We'll get there. And 1 game down, 269 to go. Woohoo! Thanks a lot. And strat on. God bless, guys.